Greetings, everyone. So we're glad to be back. Had to take a little break. It a lot of information. It's a lot of information here today. So we want to just go ahead and continue the rest of our healthy herb set today because there's going to be so much impactful information that's going to be spread throughout the week, and so we just wanted to take this day to just allow us to work on ourselves. So this is our space, this is our time. So work on ourselves. Let's think about not only how we can better ourselves, but how we can also better the planet. So with that in mind, today is the Healthy Herb Day, and so we're going to continue in this quest for information through herbs. And so we've talked about soil today. We've talked about nutrition. We've talked about movement and yoga. So now we have a presentation that is going to take it into the kitchen. And so as we move into the kitchen, we want to learn. And it's funny, speaking of the kitchen, I learned long ago from Queen Afua Sacred Woman events and ceremonies that you had two healing rooms in your house. One was the kitchen and the other one was the bathroom. So as long as you know that information and keep that in mind, you will probably make out very, very well. So we're going to go into the kitchen right now and check out to see what's going on in the kitchen with Dewey Thomas.
Get a kick out of this.
So we're going to actually pick another one for Dewey. He's still in the kitchen though.
Am I still in the kitchen?
Yeah, you're still in the
Trying to
kitchen.
I was just in the kitchen washing dishes.
Okay.
Welcome to the Cannabis Kitchen, the fundamentals of food preparation and cooking with cannabis. So, happy Black Cannabis Week. Welcome all. We start our lesson here very simply. Starts with the seeds. We go from the seeds to the flowers. Fundamentals of cannabis food preparation. The seed is pressed and it becomes hemp oil. The leftover product from the hemp oil is hemp protein. Hemp oil is one of the most nutritious plant-based oils that we know of, full of essential fatty acids, omega-6 as well as omega-3. When we look at the role of fats in our body, they're very important for all of our bodily functions. We know from our brain, made of gray matter, water, and fat, onto what we need for our eyes, our hearts, and our joints. What is your relationship with fat? Does fat get you in trouble, or does fat make you healthy? In the fundamentals of food preparation with hemp, we use it as what we call a finishing oil. You don't cook with this oil. You can add it to cooked foods, or you can use it as salad dressing. And we're going to take the 10-day challenge. Take a tablespoon or a teaspoon, 50 pounds per body weight, So I'm about 160 pounds. I would take 3 to 4 tablespoons of the hemp oil mixed in with my food over the course of the day. This is a good baseline wellness oil. All my nutritional needs are being met. GLA, gamma linolenic acid. This is an anti-inflammatory derivative of the omega-6. Very good for managing the inflammatory response of our bodies. Hemp oil also is very high in magnesium, which is a relaxing mineral, potassium, which is an alkalizing mineral, as well as the vitamin D hormone, very important to our immune system in these times. So hemp oil, one of the most complete oils. This oil is your best cannabis investment. So the after product of the oil, we get a protein, a complete protein that has all the essential amino acids for our health. Also, it's very high in fiber. So between the oil and the protein, we're covering 2 food groups with optimal super nutrition from the hemp plant. You're looking towards losing weight, improving your health, changing your lifestyle, invest in some hemp oil, as well as some hemp protein, make smoothies, you can bake with the protein, essential part of your diet. And one of the other products we have here are the hemp hearts. And these are the de-shelled seeds. They have a nice nutty taste, and we're going to be using those in our recipes. Hemp hearts are awesome. We can't get enough of those. And it's a good source of milk. Just adding the hemp heart seeds to some water, mix it up in a blender, you have instant plant-based milk. So from the seed to the flower. Now, flower, as we can see here, and this is of the hemp variety, which is very low in THC. The only way that this is nutritionally bioavailable is that it is activated. It is activated through a mechanism called decarb, and that's heating. So when we smoke cannabis, we're essentially decarbing, and it changes from, say, THCA to THC, and we feel the effects and euphoria. If we buy a CBD oil, it is processed and the cannabinoids are bought for. So for us to be able to use this for our culinary experience, we have to decarb. We could use the oven, but the oven, the heat fluctuates. And when you look at decarb, it's a formula of time, 200 degrees, an hour for, be it a more of a THC variety, say 2 hours for a hemp variety. One of our Black cannabis all-stars, young lady by the name of Chanel Lindsay, came up with these 2 devices, and they are designed to decarb. And so what they do is they put focused heat at 200 degrees to a specified length of time. And this is the Ardent Lift, and this is the FX. This is the first model. You can decarb and infuse. This one you can decarb, infuse, bake, as well as has some other time adjustments that the original model had. So what happens when you decarb is that you put the plant material into this device, the lift, you turn it on, and after 2 hours, the flower comes out. It's nice and toasted on the outside, but what has happened is that the cannabinoids have been released. So we can put it back into this other machine with some oil and make an infusion. And we have our infusion, and today we infused a palm oil. When you do an infusion, you have to use a hearty oil, be it a palm oil or a coconut oil or MCT oil, because they can take heat. Things like your hemp oil or flax oil, they are fragile because they are higher in omega-3s. They can't take heat. So for the purpose of decarbing, I use a palm oil, and I really like that because it reminds me of Africa. Recap for our culinary experience. We have our decarb devices, getting the most out of your flour. Great investment. We have our hemp oil, our hemp seeds, our hemp protein. Now you are ready to go with your cannabis. Welcome to the Cannabis Kitchen. The fun.
So thank you, Dewey, very much for that breakdown of fats. I know, coming up, most of us have been taught that fats are bad, they'll destroy your cardiovascular system, but there really are good fats out there. And we know that hemp is one of those fats that is a good fat. And we want to make sure that you know how to use it. You don't cook in these kind of oils like we said in the presentation, these are finishing oils. So after you finish preparing, cooking your food, then you will add these oils to those foods. And one of the things that Dewey likes to do is his kale salad, and kale is very popular these days, and everybody's looking for a brand new kale salad. So we just want to show you a quick, fast, easy way to get more EFAs, and particularly getting those EFAs out of hemp.
Cannabis Kitchen in full effect. Now it's time to put all this together, all of this good hemp goodness into my signature dish. And that is what? Kung Fu Kale. In making your raw Kung Fu Kale salad, what's most important is the cut. I take my organic kale, roll it up, slice it up nice and thin, ribbon it up, and put it in here, and it is ready. This nice bite-sized texture. Next, I'll press my garlic. We have our kale, which is our green, high chlorophyll food, and that essentially is a bitter. Now we come with the garlic, which is the pungent. Press some garlic up in there. Great antioxidant, good for the heart. Mix that up, start breaking that fibrous material down. Also, too, I pre-soak my kale, part of its cleansing method, with a little lime juice, and that helps to break down the fiber in the greens. So we stir the garlic in. Next, we're going to add a little Himalayan salt, nice pink salt that's well mineralized. And that also helps to break down the fibrous material. Work that in. Ah, yeah. So we got the bitter, the pungent, the salt, and we have this nice live kale that's crunchy. And now on to the main event. We'll take our decarbed palm hemp oil, Pennsylvania hemp, in some nice palm red oil. We're going to do something really special. we're going to add some of the palm oil to the hemp oil. Give it a nice little flavor boost and a nutritional boost. A little of that. And another special treat is that we're going to take the Cell Defense CBD oil. Now, this is a CBD oil infused with black seed and frankincense. Optimal nutrition this time of year. Put a couple squirts of that in there. And we shake up our oil. And I tell you, you gotta be an oil snob. You want the best oils in your health, and because they go into your body. And we'll pour our oil over. And that's about a couple tablespoons in there. And mix her on around once again. Now, when you're using the oil, start off slow. Oil is your fuel, but your body has to be able to assimilate it. So if your liver is not totally together, kind of clogged up, you might want to do some cleansing herbs and just start with a little bit of oil. Now we're going to add moi. Bit of the hemp hearts, nice nutty, buttery, and our carrots. And that's our sweet. Got the carrots in there. Mix that all up. You see it's coming together really nicely. And this is broken down to the point where you think this is actually cooked. And add a little bit of the cayenne pepper, some nice hot red. And the last finishing touch is the nutritional yeast. Put tons of that on. And that has a nice cheesy flavor, high in vitamin B and lysine as well, the amino acid, mixing that all around. A few more hemp seeds. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Come, food, kicking. Kale, you got the best of hemp in here. Essential nutrition for you and your health. Happy Black Cannabis Week.
Wow.
There you go. There you go. And you know what? It tasted really good. It really did. Didn't you, Sharon?
Yeah, it was delicious. So tell us more about that recipe. Maybe some behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Well, I'm going to have to really give homage to Gaghan. That was his brainchild, and I just took it and ran with it. Originally, we were doing it with a hemp blend of the Udo's oil, and now we've converted it over to the hemp oil. But you know, it's a fun, festive dish, real quick and easy to make, and you're hitting all the key nutrient points. And it's interesting that people that are not quote unquote into vegan type foods or healthier type foods, people pick up on it. Our people, their taste buds like, wow, there's something here. This is not cooked. This is raw kale. It tastes delicious. You know, this is it. I'd give up meat if I could eat like this every day. But that just shows you some of the potential with food preparation, with cannabis, the hemp oil in there, the hemp hearts. And then you had some things that we threw in, and that was the Cell Defense by Restorative Botanicals, a cannabinoid cannabis company out of Colorado that are very innovative in the CBD space. And they have the CBD coffee, the CBD caramels, like I said, the Cell Defense, which is, I find, an excellent supplement. You have the CBD in a base of hemp oil with steam distilled frankincense boswellia, which is a biodilator, really good for the immune system, along with fresh black cumin seed oil. And that's a treat, and adding that in. So make your supplements work for you. When you make them work for you as a food, you don't need as many supplements. And if your supplements are correct, your supplements will be your food. And we have a lot of other recipes, and we're working on some culinary platforms, because that's oddly enough where we got our start, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. With dandelion greens and other
And other
things.
things, right,
Yeah,
right.
that's what it was. It was dandelion greens and other things. And speaking of health and wellness, I had been, on a 21-day fast, which consisted basically of fresh juices and water, and that was it.
That was the 90s.
And yeah, that was the
That
90s.
was the
And
80s.
when you and really, it's almost like that same euphoric effect that you get when you're consuming cannabis. It's like everything is
21 days with
beautiful.
just juice.
Yeah, everything is beautiful. It's nothing anybody can say that can disrupt your day. I mean, the birds are chirping, the sun is shining like everywhere, and it's just beautiful. And so when people talk about being high, it's not just one high to be on. There are a lot of different highs, and that was definitely a high that I was on for a long time. And out of that high came the idea to teach people how to eat healthy. And so dandelion greens and other things was just a part of that.
And our evolution.
Yeah. And, so we, speaking of plants, we have our next presenter who is really, forging a space in cannabis in the Philadelphia area. And so she is going to be presenting and speaking to us about terpenes. So we definitely want to
Terpenes,
hear.
and what else is she going to be talking about?
Good question. I definitely know terpenes. I think also
Okay.
herbs.
All right.
So again, this is Healthy Herb Day, and so we are going to go to our next presenter.
The other reason why I really love terpenes is because it plays a large part in how I create the herbal blends for my smokable herbs that we sell at Mellow Infusions and at Mellow Cafe. Terpenes are essentially what you're combining to create an entourage effect, and herbal blends are a way to create that entourage effect without breaking the bank. You can't always buy different strains for different moods or different times in the day. However, when you combine your medication with terpenes from other herbs, other dried herbs even, you are inadvertently creating an entire new smoking experience specifically custom to you. At Mellow Infusions, we really love to focus on terpenes that are customized for specific needs that we think are common across the board. We use a lot of lavender, we use a lot of rose. But more importantly, the way that we combine our herbs are keeping in mind that you are trying to get the most out of your medication and heal in a very. Well, we definitely want you to try some of our herbal blends at Mellow Infusions. Creating your own is as simple as combining a base herb or an herb that's imbibable, fluffy in texture, and is made usually to create a different kind of smoke. Our base herbs are usually either red raspberry leaf or damiana, but we do like mullein as well. All three are fluffy, vibrant herbs that have been known for both good medicinal smoking properties, taste really well, and creates a full body that we usually like to pair with what we call our healing middle. These herbs are specifically added because of their imbibable healing properties. Herbs like mints, balm, things in the mint family are usually within that area because they not only taste good, but these are herbs that have been smoked in the past. And have been linked to doing something good for you, imbibing them that way. We try and keep those base herbs pretty tidy, but we also label them both on the website and on the packaging so that you can know exactly which base herbs and which healing herbs you're smoking. Finally, we have a whole bunch of accessory herbs. These are herbs that are imbibable, that have medicinal properties, but may not be best used as smoking. However, they also have flavor profiles that are fantastic. Some of those include the one that I mentioned earlier, lavender, but others include, things like chamomile or rose petals, things that are, delicious and good for you. However, as far as its smoking or healing properties, we leave those more to our mid herbs, if you will. So the way that we ratio them out is we get a large portion of the base herb. We do a 1-1-1 ratio, or sometimes 2-1-1, depending on the herbal blend. But it's really about what's going to work best for you. We very much so guarantee that if you go to our website, you can learn more about what kind of base herbs, what kind of healing herbs, and more importantly, what kind of accessory herbs we are using to create our own entourage effect for less than what it costs to buy a whole new ape somewhere else. We at Mellow Cafe are currently studying different books and materials made by people in the industry who are interested in creating more experts and more knowledge base for people interested in learning about the herb that is cannabis. If you're interested, check us out on mellowinfusions.com. Go to our membership page, see in which ways you think you could fit in, or just message me on Instagram. Our Instagram handles are at @mellowinfusions and at Mellow Cafe, respectively. You can also reach me at herb_Joy. And we would love to hear more about what your experience has been like with terpenes. If you wanted to join our study group, or more importantly, if you had any more suggestions on how we can enrich ourselves in the future. Enjoy the rest of Black Cannabis Week. May this week be filled with collaboration and celebrations for you. We look forward to having you once outside opens back up. But until then, see you.
Well, thank you, Fatima. That was so informational. It's really important that we have this information. It's we thought cannabis was just one community, one element, one use, and you find from today that there are like plenty of uses for the herb. So I think one sector we don't think about when we think of cannabis, and it comes out in this next interview, are those who are in the athletic field. But when you think about it, um, they actually put their bodies, many of them put their bodies in in the face of harm as a job. And I can't not imagine for many people what that must mean and what that must cost to their health. And so I had the fortune of speaking to um, Dozier, who is an ex-professional athlete, and he is, like many athletes, is now gravitating to the cannabis space. So it's really important that as we continue to learn about this product, we also tend to learn about other communities and how we may also be of use to them in terms of aligning some of these alliances and interests that we all may have. So without any delay, I'm just gonna